Makeup. I don't like wearing makeup if I don't have to, especially if I'm at home. So, what I wanted to talk about was something that happened recently with Aubrey. So, for if I haven't made it clear, Aubrey does have four sisters. When Aubrey was placed in my care, his sisters that were actually the ones that were taking care of him were the age 5, 3, and 2 because they were twins. So, yeah. I can't give their names out, obviously. I'm not going to do that. They're little girls and they should not be even mentioned in their names in this recording. So, anyways, they have not seen AJ in years. The grandma had taken custody of them and she did not care about AJ. She really didn't. I have no nice way of putting that. Like, I can't sugarcoat this, guys. She just didn't want nothing to do with him. That's why I got him instead. She didn't even want the other kids that were placed in her care, but they got tricked in some sort of way in order for her to get them. Like, she was tricked. So she got stuck with all the kids, but then she eventually gave custody back to the father, which is my husband's first cousin. So, what happened recently affected me more than it affected Aubrey because she had no clue. So, my husband and his first cousin, Joe, they worked together at the same place. Obviously, they worked together. Now, next to where they work, there is other stores around, obviously, but the main spot is like a Burger King, but they work next to it. So, just to give you what's going on around it. Okay. So, the day before I left to the Rose Doll show, and I know this took me a long time to make this video, but hey, it happens. Life happens. So, the day before the Rose Doll show, our phones were acting up, and I had to go pick up my husband's phone at work. Now, I don't like to go to my husband's work because my husband works with family, okay? Everybody in my husband's side of the family, they all know. My side of the family, they know. So it's not news to any of us, but the two people in this whole world that I just did not want to have to deal with their about the reasons why we decided to let Aubrey do what she wants to do was both of his cousins. And both of his cousins work with him. So, okay. Oh my gosh, sorry. So, you have Joe, and then you have the brother. I don't even need to say his name. We don't get along. Joe, we stay civil with each other. I don't talk to him mainly because I had no reason to. I'm never around there. And I have not seen him since Aubrey's transition. So the last time I saw him is when Aubrey was AJ. So I did not want to have to see him again and deal with the whole, what I'm doing is wrong type of thing. He had recently gotten custody of his girls. Again, Aubrey has not seen them. Alba is out of jail. And that's a whole nother story. I'm about to have to tell you about what happened with that. So Alba is out of jail at this point. And so when I came down, let me start here. When I came down the hill to my husband's work, I had picked up my mom because she wanted to come with me. We go to my husband's work, and as soon as I pull in, my phone goes, ding. I was like, read it. Read it. What does it say? Who is it? My mom goes, and I parked the car. And as soon as I parked the car at my husband's work, the garage is open so they can see me. It says to park next door to the Burger King because JoJo and the girls are here. I was like, oh, great. I'm already right here. My husband's already walking up to the car, and he's running because he wants to hurry up before the girls and everybody see me. So he's running. He gets up to the car, and he goes, here's the phone. I was like, okay, I'm going to go get it fixed. I'll bring it back to you. And I was like, I'm just read your message. I didn't know that they were going to be here. And he goes, well, the aunt just brought him over just randomly because they had spare time. And I was like, oh my God. Like, okay. I was like, well, I got to go before all these girls are attached to me. You got to remember, I watched them for years before I got custody of the baby. So the oldest one in particular. So as I'm trying to back out, my brother, which also works there too, decides I want to see my niece and nephew. My niece is in the back seat. He wanted to come and see them. So he's walking slow, and I'm like, oh my God, Matthew, come on. Like, can you walk any slower? So I'm like, come on. And he's like, hold on. And he bends down to tie his shoe. Really? So he bent down to tie his shoe. Junior, can you give me some toilet paper? He bent down to tie his shoe, which caused the older sister to realize it was me. Okay, sorry. She saw me, and I saw her talking to her dad, and my brother opened up the sliding door on the other side of the van and was giving them hugs and kisses. And then the older sister starts running over to the car. And I was just like, oh God. I unbuckled my seatbelt, and I looked at my mom. I said, this is not what I want to deal with today. Like, this really was not what I want to deal with today. Now, you would think when you send your kid over to the car, you would think that you had explained to your daughter and gave her a heads up of what she was going into. You would think that you would let her know that her little brother had transitioned to a girl. Giving her a heads up so that, but no, what he did was, this evil little prick, he left me to explain it all. So when she said, can I see my brother? What am I going to tell her? No? So I opened up the sliding door. I said, yeah, baby, go ahead. I opened up the door, and she goes, where's my brother? I said, he's right here. I was like, and she goes, but he was a boy. I was like, I know, baby. I was like, I know he was, but he didn't want to be a boy anymore. He wanted to be a girl. Really hard to explain. And she was shocked. She was like in shock. She goes, but no, like, he was a boy. And she didn't want to look at him. She buried her chest, her face in my stomach, and I was holding her, and I was just like, oh baby, I'm so sorry. Like, I thought you knew before you came up here that your brother transitioned. You would think that her dad would have given her a heads up, but he's the type of person that's like, well, I'm gonna let you explain this to her since you're the one who did this to her, kind of thing. I will let you explain it. So he left me to fend for myself with his daughter and explain to her what happened. She was heavily crying. I'm talking about everything, just tears, just couldn't breathe. I had to hold her face and look up at her. I was like, calm down. I was like, breathe, baby. And she's just in this state where she's like, bring him back. And she kept saying that to me, which was making me cry. So we're sitting there, and I'm holding her as tight as she's holding me. And she's telling me and begging and pleading with me to bring him back. He's here. He's here. Like, I can't do anything about that. And then here comes Joe. walking his scrawny little ass with all the rest of the girls. And I was like, hi. And he's like, hi. And he's like, the girls want to see their brother too. And I'm like, okay, well, she's right here. And they, again, was like, well, wait, what's going on? And they're like, well, can I take a picture of all of them? And at this point, my stress levels through the roof. And I was like, sure, go ahead. Just, the oldest one did not want to stand next to her. She did. I was like, look at her. Look at her. She's still AJ. She's still the same person. She refused to look at her. She couldn't. She could not soak it in and believe that that was her brother. It was heartbreaking, guys. It was so heartbreaking. But she just wanted to hold on to me. She just was telling me that she misses me. And like, she had this look on her face like, why did I leave her? But I didn't leave her. You know, I didn't, not intentionally. We got in the car and we drove away after they're done visiting. And I was like, I was mad. I was in the car and I was just like, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he didn't explain to them before he got there and he left me to do it. So, Aubrey didn't know those were her sisters. No one said anything. He just thought he was taking pictures with the other, just random people. She didn't care. I'm going to have to cut the video off here, but that's what happened the day before the Rose Doll show. Very stressful, guys. All right, stay tuned for the next video.